Hello, I'm Houdi McCabe from Portrush, 63-year-old, acting this last year or two, retired manager and now doing what I've always wanted to do. I play a man called the Sleepless Man in a fantastic film called The Pale Man. What attracted me to the project, this probably sounds a bit corny, but I'm constantly perusing the Facebook platforms, Media Therapy, Northern Ireland actors for roles, okay? And I was attracted to this poster. It was a black and white poster, the pale man with these hands coming out of the darkness. And I'm going, this sounds really, really good. So that was very late at night, so I then said, right, I'm going to apply for this. So I sent all my CV and all my bits and bobs away, and the next morning, Andrew, the writer and director, contacted me. He says, I'll send you the script. And when I read the script in one sitting over a cup of tea, I goes, this is really, really good, but it's very dialogue driven. You know, and I mean, repetitive lines in it, or, you know, and 3 or 4 of the same line and being interrogated. So it's very, very challenging for an actor to do that, and challenges what I want to be. So I read it again and I contacted him again, and he says, okay, submit a tape. So I would come in from a film shoot that day, and it was at 1 o'clock in the morning. I said, I'm going to do this now. And in my nightgown that I wear in the film, I did a tape, and he told me then the next day that I was down to 1 or 2 people. And a few days later he told me I'd had the role. And I just then started learning my lines from that very day. Right, but I don't want to give too much away. It's a film set in one location, a really old house. A man, my character is a sleepless man. He's just a man who obviously can't sleep, but the reason that he can't sleep, he's full of regret and shame and all those sorts of things. And he gets up in the morning and he goes for a glass of water or something, and he hears this noise downstairs. And he goes downstairs and he sees this really unusual, scary character in the corner. So he goes over, and the film is a conversation between those two people. And in case the viewer is going, that sounds boring, it's far from boring, and it works. And it might as well be a play. Rehearsals, right, well, I did it in 2 ways. I rehearsed it on my own. First of all, I don't use any of those apps that actors use. I do it the old-fashioned way. I get my iPad, I read my other actors' lines, I leave a space for my line throughout the whole thing, yeah? And then I get my iPhone, switch it on to record, and then play the iPad, and then I talk then my lines in the space, and that's how I learn it. When I was confident enough, Anthony and I met up in that space in Royal Avenue that allow you to rehearse in Royal Avenue, and down there. I think we met the director first of all in the cafe, in Nero's cafe, to tell him our strategy, what we were going to do, that in our own time we were going to rehearse this with or without him. Mm-hmm. And the first 2 times we met, myself and Anthony met, and when we were confident then, Andrew then came in and added his bit in for accents and voices, and no, you're too angry, Houdi, no, you need to pull back a bit, you're too angry, you're too aggressive, you need to be more scared, that type of thing. So he gave us a direction, and then we met twice after that. And that's really it. But it was fairly intense for it's 25 minutes long, but we rehearsed for that as much as I did for a feature film I did recently. Very good. Now, there's not a whole pile of costume. He wears the pyjama bottoms and a pair of slippers that haven't seen the light of day. And actually, I wore the nightgown that I wore on my self-tape. And it just felt, my wife would say, that's supposed to be you are at home. So I just made myself at home and get into the role. Oh yeah, I never washed my hair for 3 weeks, and I grew my beard the minute I heard I was getting the role. So there's actually a month and a half's growth in the beard as well. So getting into the role that way. No, unlike other actors who look for influences with maybe William Dafoe, maybe in that dark film that he was in, The Lighthouse, I stayed away from all those influences because I wanted this to be my influence. What would it be like if I was full of this man's regrets? If that was my, without giving too much away, if that was my family that had reneged on whatever, how would I feel? So I just put myself into pick one of my children and I go, so you've no real acting to do really, you just imagine what you'd be like. I know it's topical and the zeitgeist at the moment that mental health is for people with mental health. It definitely is a film for people with mental health or mental health practitioners, definitely. It's also a film for screenwriters because the script is A1, no doubt about it. It's also a film for directors, one location, very little expense to make it, I would assume. Although it's a big house, you'd have to rent out and stuff, but you're not getting permission to go into museums, you're not getting permission to stop traffic, you don't need cars. But it's ideal, so